So next program is Flash Talks. This session has 5 short talks that give researchers and the press officers a chance to share what they have been working on. The speakers are mainly from Japan, except for our last talk with presenters from Europe and South Africa. This will be a lightning first round, and the audience can ask brief questions via the chat box that I will read out if we have time. Let's get started with Kenneth. Kenneth, are you there? Kenneth is from Kyoto University.
Hello, everyone. Is the slide on? Yes, perfect. Okay, hello, everyone. Kenneth here. I'm a doctoral student at the Primate Research Institute. And today I'll tell you about my experience with the Hiraku 3-Minute Thesis Competition 2020. Next slide. But first, let me contextualize my personal relation with SciCom. Rewinding to a couple of years ago, I was working as a vet in an animal hospital. Way more hands-on and about applying science than my PhD in disease ecology, right? Well, back then I already needed SciCom after a realization to get people's pets well and healthy. Being knowledgeable about veterinary medicine is not enough. I've worked with incredible clinicians, house MDs for pets, that were still struggling to get their knowledge across. And in veterinary medicine, if you fail to teach, to educate the owner about the issue, the animal isn't getting better, because it is the owner, the person concerned by the issue, that ultimately treats and nurses your patients. Next slide. Fast forward to nowadays. I kept this realization that in order to have a tangible impact, I need my research to go across and beyond my field and lab. The broader the audience, the better. However, as a PhD student, you already spend a good chunk of your time searching for ideas, grants, data, results, animal excrement. Well, this one might be just me. But you might not have much time left to look for extra opportunities to share your work to the world. Fortunately, we are blessed to have a center in our institute, the Center for International Collaboration and Advanced Studies in Primatology, CICAS for short, that among many other things advertised to us students about the Hiraku 3MT competition last year. Next slide. As the name implies, doctoral students have 3 short minutes to describe all the intricacies of their work. And keeping it clear, detailed, but concise is quite the SciCom challenge, as you can imagine. This event was to me an oasis of SciCom fun, after a year plus of pandemic, and a perfect reminder that science and knowledge explained in simpler words can reach more ears and brains without having to oversimplify research. This constrained writing exercise also helped me distill and summarize what's at the essence of my research. I was honored and lucky enough to be elected the winner of the English division and the Springer Nature Award this year. But to keep this flash talk concise, I'll let you head toward the video I submitted if you later have 3 extra minutes and wish to see what my attempt was like. Next slide. 2 points I would like to highlight today with my experience. First, let's keep in mind that science needs to be shared to the many, and events like the 3MT competition are excellent opportunities to put the spotlights on one's research. Second, doctoral students, let alone overworked researchers, might be willing to participate but unaware of such opportunities. I am grateful for the constant efforts of the people in SciCasp to promote good science communication and keep us informed with these. It is not even their main purpose, and yet I wouldn't be there today if not for their stimulating push. So if you are a press officer, keep your eyes wide open and let us know about these incredible opportunities to share more science. Thank you.
That's fantastic. You have experience in talking in 3 minutes. This is
that
really
was a bit
obvious.
meta, yes.
Okay, so is there any questions for Kenneth? If you have questions, please use chat box. Okay, I have a question. If you would like, that's okay. So Kenneth, your #1 recommendation for students in their 3MT performance?
I would say this is coming from a very personal point of view, but I know that the more passionate I am about what I'm talking and even the angle I choose, the easier it gets to convey and to communicate a topic that might otherwise be a bit hard to have engaging sometimes. So I think talk about what you're passionate about.
That's true. Do you have any other questions for Kenneth? We have 1 more minute. Okay. So blog video of Kenneth has been shared in chat box. So if you're interested, please go and check Kenneth's blog. Oh, I have another question here. So what is your target audience for your talk?
I believe the 3MT competition is between the niche of the academic world, but it still has a broader audience in mind. And I'm pretty sure for the many, it's probably interesting and engaging to watch in general. And I found myself that it was a good way even to discover what other PhD student might be doing in fields completely different from mine. And that's really interesting to see what their approach to talk about their subject.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. So time is up. And next speaker is Naoki Namba from Hokkaido University. Namba-san, welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you for the introduction. So next slide, please. Okay, so the goal today is to share some ideas to spread your news more efficiently. And I think there have been a lot of discussions about how to create good content because we love good content. But we tend to forget about thinking how to share the content or your news stories more efficiently. So that's the topic today. So next, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the first, the timeliness is very important. This may sound like a common sense, but I have the data here. So we have been monitoring the result of our press releases since 2016. And this graph shows that the press release issues before the embargo were far more effective than the press releases issues after the embargo. And for those who are not familiar with embargo means that the information is how do you say it needs to be kept secret until a certain date. So in this case, until the paper is published. So if you share the press release with the journalist before the embargo, the journalist will have some time to prepare their news stories. So that is good. Next slide, please. And second, I think you should focus on newsworthy topics. So this graph shows that the number of press releases don't matter that much. So if you look at 2017, we had more than 70 press releases, but the average number of media coverage was 14. And if you see 2019, we had more coverage that was close to 50, even though we had less press releases in this year. So this means that the quality matters rather than the number of the press releases. So I think you don't want to send out press releases that are not of interest of journalists. So you should find good topics to do a press release for. Next slide, please. So the third. So why don't you add more tools to your toolbox? So once a press release is prepared, I think most people post it to media distribution platforms like Udakalot, and maybe you also post it to your website or social media. But I'd like to suggest 3 more tools you can use. Next, please. And those are pitching, wire service, and domestic press clubs. So pitching is basically contacting individual journalists by email, by phone, or by social media. So if you know some journalists who might be interested in the particular topic, you can contact them directly, and there will be a higher chance that they will cover the story rather than just sending your press release to you like a lot. And wire service this is a service provided by media agency, and this is a very powerful way of distributing your press release. So wire service uses a large, or the media agency has a large number of affiliated news sites. So if you use wire service, there will be a higher chance that you get covered. And finally, domestic international media. So I'm talking about the international media based in Japan, since they are the people who want to find out happenings in Japan and report that overseas. So we tend to focus on the international media outside Japan, but why not focus more on the international media based in Japan? Okay, next, please. Next slide. Okay, so this is the end of my talk, but I'd like to acknowledge my team members, Leah and Pinto. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Namba-san. So time is limited, but I think our audience wants to make clear that if you are talking about Japanese press release or English press release.
It could be both, but I was mainly talking about English press releases. Yes.
Okay, so there's another question. What exactly do you mean by coverage?
Coverage. So it's basically a number of news articles resulted from a press release, from our press release.
Anything like TV, newspapers,
Yes.
radio.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of tools to use for embargo?
What kind of tools?
Tools. Yes.
To use for embargo. Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Yeah, this is the question from Hiroko-san, but I'm not really sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have any questions, more specific questions, Namba-san will be staying here for I think until the end. So please use your chat box directory to Namba-san ask questions, please. Okay, thank you very much. So the next speaker is Tomomi Sayuda-san from the University of Tokyo Institute of Industrial Science, DLX Design Lab. So thank you and welcome, Tomomi-san.
Hi everyone. Yeah, thanks for inviting me to just with such a wonderful opportunity. My name is Tomomi Sayuda. Is it like 5 minutes talk? Like 3 minutes? Is it 5 minutes?
5 minutes in total,
Okay.
including question Q&A.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, okay. So next, please. So my name is Tomomi, and my background is experience design. I engaged in the 10 years experience on the field. Next, please. And I work at the DLX Design Lab, which is using the design to turn science into the deployable innovation. Next, please. And today I'd like to talk about the project is called OMNI Microplastics. So which is like the discovering like a new ocean monitoring research with the local community. Next, please. And this OMNI project is a bunch of the different discipline people, such as engineering and the design, and also like researchers and the scientists, so on. Who just next, please. And the OMNI project itself is all about making it and test it and workshop to just make it real for the ideas. Next, please. And I'm a communication lead and workshop design for this project. And next, please. And I do graphic design and video direction at the same time. Next, please. And this is the projects about the microplastics science, citizen science project about that topic itself. Next, please. And the OMNI Microplastics has 3 different discipline topics. One is the sampling together, and the second is the device development, and third is the dissemination. Next, please. And well, the first microplastic sampling is the, well, quite basic process about it. So there's to sample the certain way to just collect the data with the local people. Next, please. And I just try to just make the, well, experience better for that project. So those are still work in progress. Next, please. And we are just doing the, well, making the devices at the Zushi. So we just make the, well, device development at there on site. Next, please. And then I do quite a lot of workshop design to create opportunities with the local people and the high school students. Next, please. And we could just get really positive feedbacks, such as like they want to just make more know about the ocean microplastics and also science research itself. Next, please. Sorry. And I do the web design and the video direction next. And then it has a media appearance next, please. And then we had the collaboration network next, and the Zushi and the Nagasaki relationship next. Thank you so much for that. Sorry for rushing.
Thank you very much, Sayuda-san. I think there's a comment from Sarah Hooks. Do you know Boyan Slut? He's mainly working on open oceans, but he already has.
Yeah, he's we are quite popular and very.
He already has
person, yeah.
functions devices. Okay, yeah. Another question. Where can we see more about these projects? Something like video?
Yeah, we have well, if you can go to the, well, like a website, you can just see our activities. So yeah, this is the OMNI hashtag hash microplastic design lab.ac. That is the link. Yeah.
Yeah, we just posted the link on the chat box.
Excellent.
Yes, please have a look. So thank you very much, Sayuda-san. Hi. Okay, so next speaker is Shimizu-san, Tomoki Shimizu from Kyoto University. Let's welcome Shimizu-san. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak here. I am Tomoki Shimizu from Kyoto University Institute for the Advanced Study of Human Biology, called ASHBI for short. I'm in charge of public relations at the Institute. I would like to talk about the importance of a research story when disseminating research results for researchers and for public relations officers. Next, please. When communicating your new research result, it is not enough to talk only about your experiments and findings. In order for the audience to properly understand the importance of your discovery, you need to tell your research story. So, what is a research story? At first, you look at your research from a bird's-eye view and describe the academic background of your findings, the position of your research in the current social context. Then, narrowing your focus, you describe your research findings, and broadening your focus again, you tell how your findings contribute to academic progress and solve critical social problems. Thus, you need to build your research story in this double pyramid format. Next, please. So you should change the emphasis of your research story depending on the audience. For example, when you submit a research paper to a scientific journal, your manuscript will be reviewed by experts. You need to describe in detail the significance of your research from an academic perspective, the validity of your experimental methods, and the new findings you discovered. On the other hand, when communicating with the general public through newspapers or social medias, you should avoid technical jargon and highlight the impact of your research on academia and society. Next, please. And figures and scientific illustrations are always useful when telling a research story in manuscripts, grant applications, and even news releases. The content of the figures and illustrations needs to be adjusted for the audience as well as writing. When preparing a manuscript for a scientific journal, many accurate figures and graphs are needed. In contrast, a news release usually includes only single or two or three illustrations, such as graphical abstract or eye-catching image. Next, please. These are examples of scientific illustrations that I have created. It's my illustrations. On the left is the graphical abstract, and on the right is the eye-catching image. These illustrations capture the public interest about a topic in your research story. So our institute and our team actively produces such scientific illustrations with professional scientific illustrators when communicating our research results to the public. This is all for my presentation. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Shimizu-san. Yeah, I'm impressed by your illustration skills. And yes, our audience also. What if press officers are not good artists? What should we do?
日本語でもいいですか？
どうぞ。はい。
僕は自分で作りますけれど、基本的にはプロのイラストレーターの方に依頼するのが一番いいかと思います。
Okay, so for those who don't understand Japanese, he replied that I can make myself, but if you are not available, you should ask the professional illustrators.
Yes.
Hi, another question from Akram. Is 2D or 3D better?
Both is okay. アニメーションでもいいですし、イラストレーションでもいいですし、それが適する場所に適するものを作ったらいいと思います。
So his recommendation is both okay, but even animation and illustration, it must you should consider which is better for the content. So to your content. Thank you. How do you brainstorm abstract concepts?
これはですね、やっぱりストーリーを意識します。背景は何かで、メインのファインディングスは何かで、意義は何かというのを一つ一つ絵に落としていって組み合わせています。
Okay. So you should care about the stories. What do you want to tell, and what is the context, and what is your goal? What are your goals? So you should brainstorm by considering these things. Okay, another question. I'm really curious about the final illustration. Oh, which one? Okay, so this brain thing, I think, the human and how do you say this? 18, 5, 1 and 240. What it is about?
ちょっと詳しい内容を僕忘れてしまったので、後からリンクをチャットに貼ります。すみません。
はい、okay. So, how can cover the cost of hiring a professional illustrator? Institution, researchers?
イラストの大きさによりますけれども、ニュースリリース用のものですと、だいたい5万円から10万円ぐらいです。
Okay, it depends on the size, but for the illustration, it costs around around from 50,000 yen to 100,000 yen. Okay, so I think time is up. Yes. So thank you very much, Shimizu-san. And our
Thank
last.
you very much.
Hi, thank you very much. So our last speakers from Europe and is Oana Sandu and her colleague Ramasamy Venugopal. Sorry, Ram, if my pronunciation is bad. From the IAU Office of Astronomy for Development. Let's welcome them.
Hi, thank you for having us today and for inviting us to talk about what we have learned from the first virtual edition of what we believe to be the largest astronomy communication conference. Next slide, please. So CAP has been running for 9 editions now. I put in some numbers here so you get an idea of the size and the kind of content we have at this conference. We have plenary talks, oral presentation, panel discussion, workshops, and digital posters. Next, please. And we've put together some advice or tips from our experience for you. So in terms of the platform, we would recommend you go for a platform that integrates functionalities and keeps participants in one place. So the platform we went for had all these things: plenary rooms, parallel sessions, posters, networking, coffee breaks, everything was in one place. We went for Hopin, but yeah, beware, it also has challenges and limitations. You could keep the platform open for the entire event, not just for the official program, so participants can network at any time like they would do during a physical event. And we recommend you train the organizing team as much as you can and test and test and test. We've had lots of unexpected technical challenges with the platform, even though we did test. Next, please. In terms of the program, we went for a program organized on different time zones each day so that we can attract as many participants as possible. The bulk of the content was pre-recorded and speakers connected just for the live Q&A after their talk. This also resulted in mixed topic sessions because it was too many variables to match time zones and speakers availability with topics. So the sessions were a bit mixed. In terms of the workshop, we went for registration, but actually lots of people did not turn up. So we recommend you go with the first come, first serve participation in workshops. And if possible, ask for phone numbers of team and speakers. It's easier to grab hold of them when everybody's focusing on their computer screens. They will miss your messages. Next, please. In terms of participants, we had free registration thanks to a Kavli Foundation sponsorship. Our show-up rate was 89%, which according to Hopin data is quite a good rate, above the average. But if you do have a free event, you could consider a minimum fee just to guarantee that people will show up. We also recommend you create simple training videos adapted to the organizing team, to the speakers, to the participants on how to use the platform. We got lots of feedback that this has been very useful for participants. We did remind basic rules on how to use the platform at the beginning of each day because we didn't know if people had been on this platform before. And we integrated a help desk service throughout the event. We went with intercom, so there was a team available to answer questions from participants. Next, please. In terms of our team, we organized our teams per time zone. Each team of the day had a couple of roles: coordinator of the day, who took all the decisions on the spot, a Hopin admin, and an admin assistant that coordinated the running of the platform. We had someone from Hopin themselves to support us in case of major technical problems. We had the help desk for participants' questions. We had the chairs who were leading the session and the moderators who were queuing videos and supervising the running of a session. Life is going to get in the way during virtual events, so have a backup for the backup for key roles. Have a WhatsApp group to talk to the team, and we were all volunteers, so if you can hire a full-time person, that would be great. Next. I think it's my last one. Yeah. So arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Oana. I think we can continue with Ram. Is Ram here?
Ram is here.
Okay, Ram is here. Just to okay. Sorry. Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. So let's receive questions from the participants, the audience. So what would you say was the one biggest challenge for your team to make this CAP conference go online?
I think it was the volunteer aspect, because we were all volunteers. I mean, most of our volunteers were very reliable, but yeah, some, things just happen when you work from home or when you have other work assignments. So we had a couple of crises per day where we needed to quickly find somebody to replace somebody else. I would say that. I don't know if Ram, you had a different perspective on what was the most challenging part. If you are online, can unmute.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
Thanks, Oana. No, nothing else from me to add. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I think you covered a little bit, but tell us more about what limits and challenges did you have with hopping? Hopping.
Open, yeah. So the platform is a bit weird in the sense that it has all sorts of limitations. Like if you want a session with 5 speakers on the screen, you can only have, I'm just giving random numbers now because I don't remember them by heart, but like you can only have 20 participants viewing the session. If you want to have only one speaker, then you can have thousands of participants watching. If you want to share a screen, then that counts as a speaker. So it was a little bit difficult to work around with these limitations. There were also some issues with the fact that they have a backup stage and a main stage. So speakers have to go into the backup stage, and sometimes it was confusing for speakers where exactly they needed to be. And then there was some streaming issues. I don't know if that has to do with them or with our internet connections, but yeah, it was varying a lot. So we did test, and one day it was working fine. Then we couldn't run the videos, or the audio wasn't playing as good. So yeah, it was a bit uncertain. We couldn't be certain of how the performance will be. Again, here, I don't know if it was just our internet or if the platform requires a big bandwidth, and that's the issue. But yeah, I think, Ram, we said that maybe in the future it's best to have the streaming from another platform feed into the Hopin rather than use Hopin directly.
Okay, thank you. Oana and Ram, please look at the chat box. There are several admiration for your activities and also some questions. So if you have time, please respond to them. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much for all the Flash Talk speakers.